Boating on a glorious Australia Day on Sydney's spectacular harbour could only be made perfect with a seafood barbecue cooked on board. Join us for lunch on Dining Down Under. Welcome to another episode of Dining Down Under. We are on the best harbour in the world this segment.
Without a doubt.
I'm Vic Cherikoff.
Mark McCluskey.
Benjamin Christie.
And we're going to be cooking on Sydney Harbour with a barbecue show. We're cooking off the back of a boat. This was actually Australia Day. We're out there, all the clowns on the harbour. It was an amazing day. And we actually hung a barbecue off the back of the boat and cooked off all sorts of seafood, which Sydney's really renowned for.
It sure is.
We went to the fish markets, came through and picked up some produce and cooked it up. Mark, what are you doing?
Well, I thought what I would do is cook paper bark smoked gnocchi and use a mud crab. Mud crab's quite expensive, so we thought we'd bulk it out with a cheaper product, being kumara or sweet potato.
And we're paper bark smoking that.
With paper bark smoking, which is over there in the camp oven.
And Benjamin?
I'm doing a large seafood platter. First of all, we're doing smoked barramundi in paper bark.
Which I'll prepare for you.
We're doing soused white perch. We're doing a different marinated octopus, a red wine octopus.
Which is one of my favourite dishes. You can throw it on the barbecue and basically come back an hour and a half, 2 hours later.
Exactly. And we're doing some baby Tasmanian scallops as well on the barbecue with some red desert dust.
And which we'll talk about a little bit later. And I'm doing the show with a Sydney salad, which is one of my favourite dishes because it's got a little bit of a flair to it, but it is really, really simple. And one of the interesting things about salads, so many times people dress salads with oil. So what happens to the lettuce?
It dies.
It dies pretty quickly, particularly if you're having to prepare a salad well ahead of time and then try to really refresh it or serve it and looking good right at the end of the day. So we're actually going to dress the salad with fruit juices, flavoured with a few herbs and spices, and the lettuce just gets stronger and stronger. It really lifts it up. You can actually do it the day before. It's a great way to cook. So stay with us. Sydney Harbour, cooking on the back of the boat on Dining Down Under. Here at Sydney Fish Markets, and we're going to be picking up some oysters, some octopus. We're also going to get some salmon and how about some barramundi? We're going to be cooking it off on the boat on Dining Down Under.
Oh, the Aussies are crazy about their barbecues. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's a way of life.
There's an amazing array of seafood, of shellfish. This is one of the best places to really sample what Australia's all about, particularly around our coastline. Day out on Sydney Harbour on a glorious Australia Day really brings out Sydneysiders. There's plenty of bays, beaches and headlands to drop anchor and plenty happening for entertainment, besides slipping in for a swim to cool off. Out comes the barbecue to be mounted over the side and the heat cranked up. Now it's time for starters with sushi. oysters grilled with a blowtorch. Fresh salmon and marinated octopus. All to go with a Sydney salad and a visual feast of fireworks. So mate, your paperbark smoked kumara?
How's it looking, Vic?
It's all done, cooled
Oh,
off.
look at that, mate. Very nice. Well, I'll just grab a bit of a potato masher here. Mash this sweet potato. Now look at the vibrant colour there of the sweet potato and the charred outside of it. You're going to have a little bit of, chunky bits from the outside, but that's just adding to the flavour. So we mash that into the board, having a bit of flour on the board to start off with so it's not going to stick too much. Get rid of that. And then we'll add a bit of flour. Working the flour in. This is quite a messy dish, guys, so don't be afraid to get right in there and enjoy the food. Let me just work that in a bit, and we're going to add a couple of flavours to this. We're going to be adding wildfire spice to give you your pizza in a bottle effect. And
it really is that, isn't it? It's got all the flavours. It's not quite cheesy, but it's still got the spices. You could get average a pizza.
It does. It's really good, mate. And we're going to add, just for a bit of a kick, I like my spice, Vic, a bit of red desert seasoning as well. So we do that. We're going to crack an egg in there. Make this look even more messy than it is. Oh, we just get in there, mate.
Clean it up.
Oh, we can clean it up. So we get in there.
Looks like a great thing for kids to do, eh?
It is great for kids to do, mate. So we'll put that in there.
Afraid to get dirty, eh?
Put that in there. Keep working through this. And I believe Vic's going to talk to us a little bit about paperbark.
Okay, I'll do that. Well, we've cooked with paperbark in so many different ways. And the interesting thing with paperbark is it does grow on a tree. It grows on a paperbark tree, and it is harvested traditionally by Aboriginal people. It's split these days. In fact, a lot of people have it growing in their city streets all around Australia. And if you're picking it from Sydney streets or city streets, and you happen to be just getting out there and peeling it off trees, don't forget that big dogs pee about this high. So you just need a little bit of...
Very careful, eh?
Use the inner bark.
Doesn't add a bit of extra flavour, Vic?
Mate, there are some flavours you don't want.
Very true.
So it's a simple matter of picking the paperbark side, which has minimum amount of string to it and minimum amount of fines that can stick to the food. You can spray it with oil if you want, but this is a fairly simple and rough and rustic dish. We're putting a little bit of the barramundi straight on there. You can see it's quite an interesting fish as well. If we can just get a close-up on that. The barra is a terrific fish. It's actually, it lives in freshwater and salt. It's an estuarine species, and yeah, a little bit of lemon myrtle on there would be terrific. The great thing about cooking in paperbark is that as you season it with interesting herbs and so on, we can put a bit inside as well. The paperbark will lock the flavours in and we'll end up with a great product at the end of the day.
It's really nice.
Thank you, Benjamin. And I'm simply going to wrap that and tie it off front and back, and it's going to be done.
While you're doing that, I'm going to put the octopus into the wine. But just cleaned the octopus, taken the ink out and the heart. We're just going to put that into the red wine, sorry, for about 2 hours, Vic.
Yeah, it can just basically simmer away. You can throw that on the edge of the barbecue as well if you've got a side burner if you need to. It literally just takes no attention whatsoever. As long as it doesn't cook dry, just keep cooking away.
Well, we're going to put some more of that on the barbecue in a minute. And we're going to take this. I've got some Tasmanian scallops here.
So normally they have roe on it.
They do. We've taken them off because you don't want to get that in the
That's probably the best part, isn't it, the roe?
But this presents a lot better.
Yeah, very
and
true,
cleaner.
mate.
So I'm just going to give it a light seasoning, and I'm also going to put some of the red desert dust on top of that.
You like a bit of spice too in your life, mate?
Just a little bit of spice.
Oh, that's good.
I'm going to take those out to the barbecue.
So they're ready for the barbecue, and you're going to use the limes, the grilled limes, for a bit of garnish.
Yeah, I'm going to grill the limes, the native
Wild lime,
Wild
right
lime.
there, a creek lime. Yep.
citrus notes.
There's your barbecue ready to go, mate.
So I'll take
Your
those out
barramundi.
the back now.
Ready to go on that? Okay.
Want to get the barbecue quite hot. I'm going to start by putting the barramundi, which is wrapped in the paper bark, straight onto the grill. If you put it onto the char grill, it would actually, the paper bark will burn. What we do is slowly put the scallops onto the grill. These don't take very long at all, about 2 or 3 minutes. And then we'll put the wild limes on as well. We want the flesh here to caramelise, giving a nice strong sugar flavours, which will go well with the acid from the wild limes. I'm also going to put on at the same time the octopus from the red wine, and go from there. You don't want to overcook the Tasmanian scallops because they actually overcook and become quite dry. So just basically you're searing each side, turning them over and retaining a lot of the goodness and moisture. And the last, we've got the barramundi. It's been burnt on both sides, and that's how it should be. Beautiful smoked flavours coming through. And we'll take that out the front.
That looks great, mate.
Beautiful.
That barra's done to perfection, eh?
Sure is. So we'll plate that up in a second.
The great thing with cooking in paper bark is that you can still test for doneness just by pressing. If it's a piece of chicken, if it's a piece of red meat as well, if you smoke in paper bark, you literally can just test for doneness and you'll get a feel with a little bit of experimentation there. Hey, do you want me to unwrap that for you?
Sure can. I'm going to put the perch into the water and vinegar mix now for the souse.
What I might do while you're doing that, Ben, is just drop my gnocchi into the water as well. Water's ticking away nicely at the front. Just drop the gnocchi in there. One important thing to remember whenever you're cooking any pasta, heavily salt the water. It means that you don't have to salt the pasta afterwards, and it really does intensify the flavour. There we go, so we just drop that in. I'm going to move back over to the board and work on the dressing that we're going to be using.
Might want to come in close on this this fish here as it comes out. We're really trying hard to keep the burnt bark into the outside of the fish, and we'll serve this in the paper bark so that we can then literally just spoon out what's needed rather than try and peel the bark away totally. And if we fold that in under itself, I'll show you from the side, the fish you can see is even slightly overcooked, but there we can just scoop out, we can slide that in.
That platter straight over.
Okay.
With paper bark, Vic, is that edible?
Well, it's edible. It's basically non-digestible, but it doesn't matter if you eat a little bit. It's sort of like eating paper, really.
Okay.
So it's just cellulose. You're not going to digest it, but it'll do you no harm.
Excellent.
So there's the start of your
Seafood platter.
seafood platter.
Well, this gnocchi's coming along nicely, starting to float to the top of the water. When the gnocchi starts to float to the top of the water, one of the best things to do is put it straight into a pan with a little bit of oil. That'll stop the gnocchi from sticking against each other.
So they all float when they're ready?
Just about, mate, just about. It's coming to the top nicely now. Oh, look at that.
Wait for it.
Wait for it, wait for it.
I'll just get on with a quick Sydney salad.
No worries.
While you're doing that, just
Drop
got
that in.
rosella flower here. Rosella flower is a hibiscus, and native hibiscus with sour and I guess what you call
Raspberry and
raspberry
maybe
flavours?
rhubarb flavours?
Yeah, I pick up rhubarb from it, but it's got a really high acid.
Yeah, and we've made a syrup out of the flour, and I've also got some chopped up flowers as well to add into it. Then I'll put some wasabi with it, give it a bit of zing to go with the fish.
Oh, the sweetness of rosella and wasabi works so well together.
That
together.
sweetness, if you mean sweetening up the rosella with it, it's got no intrinsic sweetness.
That's right,
So you've
yeah.
added sugar or honey.
Yeah, we made a syrup with the rosella.
Oh, okay, sorry.
So put that together.
That is a great combination because it's still got plenty of punch, plenty of pungency from the wasabi.
Ooh.
Okay?
Yeah, a lot of zing.
Gets the sinus going, that's the way. So that's going to suit the fish dish beautifully.
I might just put this gnocchi onto the plate, and we're going to dress it with two components. One's coconut cream, a nice, smooth, rich flavour, and the other one is the mountain pepper barbecue sauce, having the mountain pepper leaf and the native pepperberry in there. Quite spicy, but, you know, contrasting the two together works very well, especially with the smoked subtle flavours of the kumara. So we drizzle a bit of this here around the outside, and then what we'll do, just grab my spoon out of my top pocket there, and put some of this coconut cream on.
And I reckon the coconut with the mountain pepper barbecue sauce is an exceptional marriage.
It sure
the
is.
barbecue sauce you can use if you are not making your own mountain pepper barbecue sauce. Try an ordinary barbecue sauce, maybe with a bit of fruit blended back into it too, so that you've got some of those fruity notes.
Yes, it works
Looking
very well.
good. Finishing the salad. This is where we get intimate with our food. Literally just tossing to make sure my buttons don't end up in the salad. Mingled with the tomatoes. So I've already dressed, I'll put the rest of my dressing in. And as I said before, because it's dressed with a fruit dressing, a fruit juice dressing, we can in fact make this the day before, and literally the lettuce will just get stronger and stronger, more turgid. It won't sink and go limp. So dress this away, set it up. We've got our gnocchi dressed.
Ready
How
to
you
go?
doing there, Benjamin?
Nearly finished the seafood
Nearly
platter.
finished there. So our offerings for today are going to be a mixed seafood platter with a whole host of combinations of shellfish and other things. As you can see, Sydney salad, as I'll finish in a minute, and the mud crab with kumara gnocchi drizzled with coconut cream and a wild barbecue sauce. And fellas, let's get into it.
Let's take this sumptuous feast to the table.
Seafood platter.
Would have been better off the boat, but how do you like me opera house?
Is that what it is?
Oh, thanks very much. Yeah, people have called it a cocky's comb in the past. Sulphur-crested cockatoo.
Right. Missed that one, mate. Sorry.
Hey, Geordie. Come on in, mate.
Look at that seafood platter.
Let's go for it. Get into it. Geordie's our photographer on the show and is taking some amazing photos of our food, of our
Bit
offerings.
of octopus, mate.
Thank you. While the guys are tucking in, let's look back at our dishes. You'd have to agree that Mark made gnocchi look easy to make, so give it a go at home. I know I will, especially since kumara is so good for you because of its low glycemic index. This means the nutrients are slowly absorbed and there's less chance of piling on the fat. Just go easy on the coconut cream. Think about our use of herbs and spices with all the seafood we prepared. I love using my Australian ingredients with fish and shellfish, and what we made were low-fat dishes, all good healthy ideas and full of flavour and interest. They work better for me than butter sauces or battered and deep-fried foods any day. I've tried to base my Sydney salad on the ever-popular Caesar salad. I make sure there's a balance of salt and bitter, sweet and sour, and loads of texture and colour. The Opera House sails may be gimmicky, but the whitloff or endive that make the sails do add the bitterness that I look for.
Heaps of flavours.
How hot's the wasabi? I didn't taste it.
Oh, you know me with spice, mate. It could do with a bit more, but
I know
anyway.
you with wasabi, mate. You'd kill us.
Whoa. Oh,
you've
yeah,
got
you're right.
Dig in, Benjamin. Comment?
Really, really well smoked.
Well smoked. Okay. Well, the good thing about cooking with paper bark, that much, is you will pump in quite a bit of smoke. The gnocchi works so well with that mountain pepper barbecue sauce and the crab.
It does. The fruitiness of the mountain pepper barbecue sauce, the sweetness of the crab, and the subtle flavours of the smoky textures through the paper bark, just bring it all together, mate.
All these recipes are on the website. Bit more detail there. Geordie. What a bad time to pick.
Cheers, gentlemen. Terrific.
Cheers. Well, as I said, join us next time on Dining Down Under, where we're turning international cuisine upside down.